So my name's Richard Mortier, or Mort. I'm co-founder and CTO of iKVA, and I'm also a professor here in the computer laboratory. The work that sort of has grown into iKVA was done by a postdoc of mine, Dr. Liang Wang. He was interested in learning a bit more about machine learning and neural networks and these kind of topics. He was finding that it was a bit tedious to try and search for information, to try and find the right information he needed in order to learn about these things. So what he did was he built himself a service that meant that when he was reading articles and papers and sort of getting information about these topics, it would show him the relevant pages from Wikipedia. That semantic search service is what essentially became the heart of iKVA.
It's a functional programming language called iKVA. It has some very nice properties in terms of verifying things, but also in terms of very high productivity for programmers. So it's much less likely to make mistakes and spend a lot of time fixing bugs. So the back-end performance speed up, the high productivity, the kind of environment we're using, programming environment we're using, kind of really nice mixture of things that really kind of led to sort of first prototype we had to show to people.
When Liang joined the university and became a postdoc, and he decided he would enter the Chris Abel postdoc business plan competition, did well in that and so got through to the finals, in fact, of that, at which point he was offered funding from Cambridge Enterprise and from another local investor. And so at that point, he came to talk to myself and John Crowcroft. And basically that was when the company started. So the three of us were co-founders. We then set about trying to hire some people to work on the technology to start to commercialise it. During that process, we were working with particularly Chris Doran, who was the entrepreneur in residence at Cambridge Enterprise at the time. So we then started the process of fundraising. We needed somebody with more commercial expertise in the team, so John Borden joined just as the pandemic started. So then we were pitching throughout 2020 with lots of Zoom calls. Cambridge Enterprise had agreed to come into the round quite early. They'd introduced us to another investor, so they were the co-lead investors of the round. To fill it out, really, we decided that we'd engage with Crowdcube, which is a sort of crowdsourced funding platform. That went fantastically well.
iKVA is an AI knowledge management company. We've created some very unique solutions that enable organisations to uncover and discover information and gain insight from information that's very, very hard to find. We think we've got a particular application for organisations that have very, very complex data split across multiple data repositories where they just can't get hold of that data, and traditional knowledge management and enterprise techniques just aren't good enough for the complex data that they need to be able to find. We've got a couple of big customers that we're working with at the moment. First of all, we're working with Mott MacDonald. Mott MacDonald's particular application is they're looking for RFPs and tenders that are just scattered across the globe. We've just gone live on the Apollo repository with Cambridge University Library, where we're helping academics find papers, again, across the world. The challenges that we have for scaling the business aren't actually technical ones. We have a really good technical team that created some absolutely superb infrastructure and technology, which is ultimately scalable. So one of the biggest challenges we have is actually getting enough good software engineers that have the right skill set. We have three major business priorities right now. Our first business priority is about building the team. The second priority is, as every early stage company has, is just about proving the product and making sure we have the most optimal product market fit. And number three is the very, very obvious one about getting commercial traction. Cambridge Enterprise have been with us since the very, very start of our organisation, and they've given us not only investment, but they've also given us advice and mentoring, which has been invaluable to us as we've actually grown the business.
It's been interesting working with Cambridge Enterprise. It's obviously been great being able to work with them to get connections and introductions to a variety of funders. It's been really good fun. It's quite intense doing it. It takes quite a lot of work, quite a lot of time. It's been interesting trying to take research and apply it in the marketplace, which means you really have to work out what's valuable and what's actually useful about it. Trying to do some commercialisation work like this is a really good way of really nailing that down.